Batman. Hello, everybody. So, I just have to brag about my setting right here. I had to do something to make these live readings a little more interesting. So, I was like, okay, I'll just set up my books. So, this is the book that I'm currently reading, which is Awakened Evil. That is the second book in the series. And then I decided to add all of the books in the series. The Wish, Awakened Evil, Wicked Curse, and Mystical. And then, since Halloween is just around the corner, I decided to add a skull head. Can you guys hear me? Okay. And then, I don't know if some of you know, but I found out that KDP is coming out with hardbacks. And I was like, oh, okay, then I'll just go ahead and put it here beside. So if you guys like this setting, just let me know. So anyways, so I'm really glad that I'm doing live readings again. I've been having a lot of anxiety, not depression as much, but I figured if I keep my days busy, then maybe I won't be having anxiety so much. Because, I write all day and then I take long breaks and then I'm just like, okay, I need to do something else besides just sitting around. So I've been doing a series. I already did a series for The Wish and I actually finished it. So that the live reading of The Wish is done. And you can actually go to my YouTube channel or my Facebook page and you can watch them all. And now we are doing Awakened Evil, which is the second book in this series. And we're actually on chapter 26. So we are kind of right in the middle of the book, I guess. So hopefully I will be doing a lot more live readings because I do miss doing them a lot. So, if you're just now tuning in, I am Ashley-Bell, and I am the author of the Keeper of Soul series, and I am the author of Guardian, which is a current series that I am working on right now. It's a fantasy adventure. It's about a girl. She's in 8th grade, and this 10-year-old comes along and gives her a ring. And Trixie accepts it, and she ends up being chosen to accept this magical sword that she has to go find. So that's basically what it's about, and I'm having a lot of fun with the second book. So the first book is out, and then the second book, I'm at 100 pages so far, and then I already have book 3 and book 4 planned out. I got a few scenes wrote for that, but so anyways, we are going to start off chapter 26 in Awakened Evil. Okay, are you ready, Batman? Batman's down by my feet. Batman? Okay, so anyways, this is chapter 26, as I repeated already. Okay, Madison dropped it, and her hand loosened from the flashlight. It rolled across the floor, then stopped a few feet from her. She rushed across the floor and grabbed it, then crawled back to the wall where the 2 windows were. A flash of lightning filled the room. It stayed long enough for her to see 2 little girls in a long white gown. 2 little girls in long white gowns, something from another time. One had waist-length blonde hair, and the other had shoulder-length dark brown hair. They held on to each other, shaking and gawking around the attic. She studied them long enough to realize they looked like the girls from her dream. Another flash of lightning came. The girls were gone. Sobbing and crying claimed the room. Madison screamed and ran for the door. Her legs became weaker and felt heavy. making it harder for her to move. The door slammed shut inches from her. She went to grab the latch, but there wasn't one there. Banging on the door with both fists, she kicked at it, hoping it would loosen. The flashlight rolled across the floor. It flickered on and off, then it stopped and pointed towards something. Once Madison adjusted her eyes to see it, her legs trembled. A black dress with a petticoat under it hovered in the air. The voice shook as tears filled her eyes. "Richie, open the door, hurry." Richie banged on the other side. "Stand back, Madison." The sound of the wooden floorboards creeped closer towards her. Richie stopped. "Madison, who's in there with you?" She took a deep swallow, spun around, and pressed her body against the door. A woman appeared. She had 2 different colors of eyes. The left and right eye were half bright green and blue. They were the greenest and bluest eyes she had ever seen. "Hello, child," Madison screamed. She turned around and banged on the door. "Richie!" I would have screamed Richie, but I don't think I should scream. "Come here, child." An icy cold hand turned her back around and pushed her up against the door. "Ye soul, so fresh and pure, it's what I desire." The woman grabbed her by the jaw and forced it open. "Your soul is mine." She grinned. A black swirling light came from the woman's mouth and entered Madison. Sharp pain, like pin and needles, spread out through her body. She couldn't move or scream. It was like being paralyzed by poison. Her eyes blurred with tears as black spots developed in her vision. Just when she thought there was no escape, the door flew open and she flew backward, right into Richie's arms. All her energy was sucked back into her lungs. She grasped her throat with both hands, gasping for air. Richie lifted her to her feet. "Madison, come on." She wasn't able to stand and collapsed to the floor. He had to carry her out of the house. They all hauled out the front door and collapsed in the front yard, panting and breathing heavy. Madison didn't know what to think. The pain dispersed within seconds. Did I just see a ghost? Did my life almost end? Or was it all in my head? I didn't want to believe it. Nobody else was up there but me and Richie. There was no explaining that one away. What did I get myself into? As Richie held her in his arms, she relaxed and regained some energy. She knew coming here was a mistake, probably the worst mistake ever. "What happened in there?" Horace asked. "I didn't do anything," Neven said. "Both of you shut up." He brought his attention back to Madison. "Maddie," she looked up into his eyes. She always responded to that nickname. "What happened in there?" Once she regained her strength back, she stood up with the help of Richie. Her head throbbed like a mini headache ready to erupt. "Are you okay?" he asked. "Madison," Neve said, "at the police station I overheard the detective say you were the last one to see Keegan." "What's your point?" "Did you see Keegan die?" Madison looked at Richie. "You don't have to answer that." She crossed both arms and said, "No, I did not see him die." "That's why they think you killed him," Horace said. "What did you just say?" Richie asked. "Hey, I'm just telling you what I overheard at the police station." What are we supposed to do?" Neve asked. "Sit around and wait for our turn?" "I'll tell you what you can do. Why don't you start by reading the Bible? It might save your life. Why don't you start praying? Would you guys stop it? The guys stopped talking and looked at her. Do you hear yourself when you talk? We don't know how Keegan and Terrence died. For all we know, there could be a killer on the loose, but we don't know that now, do we? Me and Neve were hanging out with Keegan and Terrence. That means one of us is next. Then I advise you both to get saved before it's too late. Richie said, I'm coming for ye, child. A loud, eerie laugh echoed through the house. Horace and Neve took off in a split second before Richie or Madison had a head start. Richie gripped her hand and they both ran back the way they came. Madison ran through the woods, gripping his hand tight, not wanting to let go. Both her legs burned and ached, just like those times during the softball and basketball season. The heavy, rapid breathing burned her throat and chest. Heavy beating in her chest thudded. Don't look back, keep running. Even Horace could not be seen through the darkness. The moon was out and bright, but halfway covered with a thin cloud. They were probably already in the car and long gone. Richie, please, slow down, my legs. She stopped to catch her breath, a hand on a tree. Maddie, we have to keep going. I think it's raining. Maybe. Sounds like it. I don't know. A single raindrop hit her head. She looked up and many more drops came down in groups. Come on, he said, pulling on her hand. Maddie. They both started to run side by side. Countless cold raindrops came down like a shower. The long, damp grass tickled her arms. Wet, loose leaves stuck to her arms and elbows. Her soaked hair pressed to her cheeks and neck. Maddie. He stopped and helped her up. Madison held Richie's hand tight, but something felt wrong. She glanced behind her. Was something following me? Richie squeezed her hand. Come on. Madison ran out of the patch and rushed to the car, pulling the keys out of her jacket. Maddie, Richie called out. It was the first time she didn't respond to it. She got into the car and started it. She did a U-turn and drove away. Once she was off the gravel road and back onto the highway, she stopped at a red light. The temperature in the car dropped from 80 to 20 below. She saw her own breath and rubbed her hands together. A feeling overcame her like she wasn't alone. Ooh, ooh. 2 more pages. What or who was with her? Is it the woman she saw or the 2 little girls? She glanced in the back seat. It was empty. She rested her head to the steering wheel and calmed her breathing. The cold rain on her skin had her shaking. I think it is raining. Maybe. She turned the heat up on high and turned the vent towards her. There had to be something to dry her hands with. Of course there wasn't. In the rearview mirror, she saw headlights. Once the light turned green, she pressed on the gas and tried not to think about what just happened. She pulled in front of the hotel and hurried inside. Once inside the hotel, she went up to the room and hoped her mom was still asleep. She ran up the stairs and stopped in the middle of the hallway. The cold feeling was still there. Was somebody else with her? She didn't see anything and walked down the hallway and pulled the key out. Just as she about slid the key in, the door opened. It was Mom. Where have you been? Do you know what time it is? I was with Richie. We just talked. She couldn't tell her what happened. Her mom moved to the side and pointed to the door. It's late. Get to bed. She snapped her fingers. Now. Her mom slammed the door, catching Madison's attention. What is wrong with you? You're not going to start this again. I won't let you. Start what again, Mom? I didn't do anything wrong. You know what I'm talking about, Madison Raylan. Sneaking out late at night, lying about where you were going over to a boy's house. I didn't lie, and I'm not like that anymore. I was 14 years old. Yeah, and now you are 18. Haven't you learned your lesson yet? Yes, Mother. I learned my lesson when you dumped me into that rehab. Do you think sending me off was going to help the situation? Why don't you keep shoving pills down my throat and send me away again for months at a time? That's all you'd rather do? I only did it for your only good. Your dad would have done it too. We're done talking about it. Bed now. I'm going to shower first. Madison walked into the bathroom and slammed the door. Rain dripped from her hair and down her throat and down her chest. She got undressed and turned on the shower head and stood underneath the warmth of the water to get the rain off. The thought of Richie remained deep on her mind. When he was in the woods by her side, keeping her close, she never felt so safe and protected. Whoa. She ran both hands over her face and through her soaked hair. After she was done in the shower, she opened the door and peeked out. Her mom was sound asleep. It was a good thing. She didn't want to get yelled at again. She turned the light out, then lay down and pulled the covers over her legs. Before she fell asleep, she heard chattering. She lifted her head and peered around the room. Two shadows hovered over her. Then there were voices of two little girls talking back and forth. Can she see us? A voice asked. Hi. Do you think she can hear us? Another voice said. Madison did not move. She gripped the sheets, curled up in a ball. Madison, we need your help. Now they know my name? That's just great. If I don't move or look at them, then maybe they will leave and won't come back. Maybe she can't see us. She saw us at the house in the attic. Madison's eyes widened. She did see them. They were real. They weren't dreams. A silence grew between the two girl voices. A few seconds passed by and the room became lighter again. She turned on her back and didn't see anybody. Did the two little girls from the witch's house follow me to the hotel? No. I can't think that way. But she remembered she did feel a presence in the car and in the hallway. Madison grabbed the blankets, pulling them over her head and shutting her eyes. Dun 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 dun. Woohoo! Oh wait, I think I gotta read chapter 27. Yeah, this is a short chapter. I gotta read this one real quick. Okay, so this is from Inga's point of view, and it's really, really short, as you can see. So when I read short chapters with the other one. Okay, Inga knelt down by the fireplace and held the burnt pages from her spell book. That little brat. She burnt my spell book. Now I have nothing to work with. She picked up another piece, and it fell apart and landed on her dress. Master, remember the psychic? She has your diamond and dagger. She lifted her head and stood. You're right. She turned around and looked at him. She does, but where? She stopped by the cauldron, then looked over at her bookcase of potion bottles. There was one with blue and green colors mixed in it. She grinned and walked over and grabbed it. Inga thought back to the safe place where she waited with Sasha and Misty for days at a time for Mother to arrive. She never did return. Inga didn't understand why. She was too young at the time. But the older she got, she understood why Mother didn't arrive. Richard hung her for witchcraft, just like Father. Starting at a young age, she grew dark and hateful towards Richard for what he did to Mother and Father. Revenge was always in line first. As she grew older and stronger, she became her own witch and grew a coven with her sisters. They plotted a revenge plan to get back at Richard for what he has done to them. They cursed his lovely housewife. For days, she grew sick and weaker by the hours. The evil plan was working. Oh, no! Batman! No! He about knocked my drink bottle. Okay, the evil plan was working. Inga stared at the vial in her hand and smiled. Maybe I should have a friend stop by the psychic's house and let her see the truth of what it really is. Okay, now we're done. Batman about knocked my table over. I didn't. Okay. Batman. Okay, so that was chapter 26 and 27. So the last time I read, I remembered when I was reading this. So Madison, Richie, Neve, and Horace showed up at Inga's house where Olivia had killed Inga. Whoa. And then so originally Madison wanted to go see Richie, and when she got there, Richie was going to meet up with Neve and Horace in the woods where Inga's house is. So Madison followed them out to the woods, and Richie had no idea that she was going to show up, and he got mad and was like, you need to go back home, and they got into a little argument, and they decided to go into the house, and then Madison kind of had this feeling that she was being led upstairs in the house, and then that's where we stopped last time. So then she ended up going upstairs, and then she gets attacked by Inga's spirit that was awakened, and then she sees the two little girls. So the two little girls are actually Eleanor and Margaret. They're actually going to be playing a big role now from this point on throughout the whole entire series. I did mention their names like in the first book, where in the first book Olivia was at Inga's house and Inga was getting ready to like kill Olivia, and there was like a lot of like running around upstairs, and Inga said, quiet, Eleanor and Margaret, you know, and so that's when they were first announced, their names, their characters. So like when I write a series, I try really hard to leave hints along the way, is what I try to do, and I like to do that. So I'm really getting more and more. I get excited when I write books, and I'm getting more excited now since Inga grabbed this vial that was green and blue, and it's actually, she's going to awaken something, which I probably shouldn't say, but that should get you guys to watch next time's live reading. But so I'm just having like I keep saying I'm having fun. I had a lot of fun with, writing this series. Oh, Batman? No! You're gonna knock it over. Oh, lordy. No. Okay. Sorry about that. He was messing with my... I kind of realized I don't think I'm going to be able to leave this like this all day because he will get behind it and like knock it over. So, this chapter was like a lot of fun to write, like the last chapter, because I've always been into like old creepy haunted houses, and they just been like really interesting, not just the way they look, but how long they've been there and what the story was. So when I was growing up, I found a lot of, like creepy old houses, and I'll be going on deliveries with either Candy or Barb or whoever, and we would like pass this barn or this house, or we'd be clear out in the middle of nowhere, and we would get lost, and we would have to re-put in the address. And I'm looking, the driver's looking at like the screen to try to put the address in, and I'm like over here like looking at the woods, picturing things in my mind, like what's going on in the woods, how many witches are, like just thinking of new stories. And then I get elbowed or tapped on the arm. Ashley, help me with this. And then I get distracted, and then I forget about what I was thinking about, and then I have to put the address in, and then we finally get out of there. And then I grab my phone and I try to hurry up and type it before I forget. So that's why I carry my phone with me all the time. Sometimes even into the bathroom, because when I'm going to the bathroom, I really do get ideas. And, Batman? So, my mind is always working, and I love it because it keeps me busy. So then I have this idea of this abandoned house, and I'm thinking, okay, what's going to happen if I put 4 characters in an abandoned house, a witch house, in the middle of the night? Something's gonna happen. The moon is out, it's bright, it's gonna happen. So I just wanted to be like really creative, and I didn't want to leave like too many more like clues and hints, because obviously I have like 2 more books in the series that I want to do like a live reading. So then I got to book 3. I put more clues out for the next book, and then I'm always being told like I have to leave hints. Like if someone picked up Mystical, which was the last book in the series, then that means I need to leave hints for the first 3 books to let the reader know like what had happened. And I don't do that very much because it is hard to do. So I try my best to try to leave as many hints as I possibly can. So anyways, I really just wanted to get back into live readings so I wouldn't be like so like anxious or whatever. So this book right now is available, and I have a lot of copies in my tote over there. So these are $15 each, and I forgot to put the price on the back. Whoops. I guess I'm gonna have to get stickers. $15 and just stick it on the back. But anyways, so I'm having, why do I keep saying that? So next week, or no, this Friday I'm not cleaning. So I think 5:30 when I get home, I will be doing chapter 28. Oh man, I can't stop yawning. I slept really good last night, so I don't know what the problem is. Do you, Batman? I don't know where Batman went. I think he's in the kitchen. So anyways, I'll be reading chapter 28 this Friday at 5:30. So I hope you guys really enjoyed my my live reading, and I really hope you guys like this setting. I really like it. So when I finish Awakened Evil, I'm going to actually take Wicked Curse, and I'm going to set it up here, because I'll be reading that book. And then, yeah, I'm going to have to probably figure out a different way, because I don't know if I'll set this out, but I really want to do a hardback for Awakened Evil. I got the cover done. I just don't know if I'm 100% in with it, because I just need to do a little more, more stuff with the cover and whatnot. So I'll probably put the hardback right here. I don't know. But anyways, I had a lot of fun setting this up, and if you guys like it, you can comment down below. So thank you all so much for watching this, and I will see you in the next live, which is this Friday at 5:30. So I hope you all have a great day. Bye.